The following is a special presentation of the National Lacrosse League.
It's week number 3 of the National Lacrosse League, and tonight in Atlanta, one team begins their second season in the league. The other opens up their home slate. Welcome into Infinite Energy Arena, everyone. This is NLL Game Day Live. Live from Sting City this evening, sure to be a ruckus affair here tonight. If you've never seen a National Lacrosse League game inside of Sting City, it's going to be quite a treat for you tonight. Alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us on BR Live. So as I mentioned in the opener, Philadelphia beginning their second season. This was a team that wasn't quite as bad. Look, they struggled at times in 2018-19, but for all intents and purposes, not quite as bad as a lot of people figured. Yes, they had 14 losses, but remember, 8 of those 14 losses last year were by 2 goals or less.
And a team that wanted to get better by the end of the season, and they did just that. They ended the Swarm season with a very good win for Philadelphia.
Meanwhile, the Georgia Swarm opening their home slate here in 2019-2020, and they'll enter on a 1-0 record. They defeated Rochester, the newly branded Rochester Nighthawks, up in Rochester in week 1 after having the week off. Mike Poulin was very, very good. In fact, he had one of the great games in his career, 36 saves in the affair, allowed only 2 goals, and of course, as always, they were very good offensively as well, Brandon.
Yeah, this is a team that has multitude of options offensively, whether it's Lyle Thompson, Miles Thompson, Randy Stotts. They can get the ball in the back of the net and they can hang a digit on anybody.
Well, a couple of names you mentioned. Miles Thompson had a hat trick on the evening. Lyle Thompson went for 7 points, 4 of which were goals. And Shane Jackson, the man they call Jacko, had 3 goals and 4 assists. So the Georgia Swarm going to focus a little more on defense this year. And as a matter of fact, our Tabitha Turner caught up with head coach Ed Cuomo.
Well, Coach Camo, the Swarm had a dominant season opener versus Rochester. The defense limited them to just 4 goals, but you did it without 2 of your veteran defenders, Joel White and Jordan McIntosh. How can you insert them into tonight's game, should I say, without interrupting the chemistry?
Well, I think our Jordan and Joel are both veteran guys, and they're going to fit in pretty seamlessly. And I think the great thing about the game was just how well we played our systems. And not any one player was exceptional. They were all very good. And I think the only guy who really stood out was Mike Poulin. But we did a great job of limiting the shots and the quality of shots. And we're hoping to do that tonight, and hopefully he has another great performance.
On the offensive end, Lyle and Mal Thompson, 2 of your best offensive players, should I say, they had half your goals versus Rochester. So how can you get them going early tonight?
Well, I think Lyle is someone that really, we always want to get Lyle going early, and other teams, they're trying to really limit his effectiveness. But I think Lyle and Miles played really well last game, but our whole offense was really good, and we really shared the ball. The ball was swinging from side to side and great in the pick and roll game. So we think if we do that, we're really hard to defend, and we're hoping we can make that happen tonight.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Tabitha.
And fans, don't go anywhere. Face off, Georgia Swarm versus the Philadelphia Wings, coming up next.
The National Lacrosse League on BR Live, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. A beautiful rendition of the Stars and Stripes to help fire up the crowd here for the season opener in Metro Atlanta, Infinite Energy Arena in Duluth, Georgia. The building affectionately known as Sting City. It will be energetic. It will be fun inside the building tonight. Third member of our crew down on the floor this evening is Tabitha Turner. Oh, Tabitha not quite ready yet, I beg your pardon. She will be ready here momentarily, and hopefully we'll have Lyle Thompson with her as well. Alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us for another night of the National Lacrosse League here on BR Live. Your home for the National Lacrosse League in 2019-2020. We'll take you all the way through into the spring and summer months as we get ready for the World Championships. The Georgia Swarm opening up their home campaign tonight, hoping that they can acquire World Championship number 2. Swarm breaking their huddle from around Mike Poulin. And there you see Philadelphia doing just the same. Swarm going in the base blue uniforms with the yellow on top. Do not wear these uniforms quite as much as you'd think. They love the solid yellow outfits, and I know Brandon Joseph and I both big favorites. These uniforms right here.
Oh, you gotta love the blue.
We're already talking about uniforms.
Yeah, the beautiful and blue.
Not quite like the Star Wars uniforms they wore a few years ago, but I digress. Georgia opening up their campaign at home in 2019. Philadelphia opening up their second season. Now Tabitha Turner is ready with Lyle Thompson.
Lyle, the Swarm are 4-0 in home openers. You guys got off to a dominant season opening win. How do you guys carry that momentum over in order to get off to a good start tonight against Philly?
I mean, it's sort of just forget about Rochester, and after that game on Sunday, start focusing on this one.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys.
Lyle Thompson, one of the great goal scorers, one of the great assist men in our league. Went for 4 and 3. Had a power play goal, a power play assist, a short-handed goal versus Rochester in week 1. Last year, 112 points on the season. Keys to the ball game for the Georgia Swarm.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those things, and it's going to start right here in this face-off circle with Jordan McIntosh trying to take on Trevor Baptiste. And like we talked about earlier, this is going to be a humdinger in the middle.
Keys to the ball game for the visitors from the city of brotherly love.
Well, they want to get physical. They were able to out-physical the Georgia Swarm in the season finale last year, so they're going to try to get on that early, and that's going to be a key for them.
So we're underway in Metro Atlanta. We're in Duluth, Georgia, the northeast corridor of the Atlanta sprawling Metroplex. Philadelphia, as you see in the white-based uniforms, for those of you, the newbies out there. Meanwhile, Georgia in the base blue uniforms, as we were mentioning earlier. Bit of an errant attempt there on first possession for Philadelphia, and the Swarm have it back. Their first real possession of the ball game.
Yeah, they're going to wait to get the offense started. Connor Sellers going to dump it off to Miles Thompson.
Shane Jackson.
Moving without the ball is going to be key for the Georgia Swarm.
Moving around on top, Randy Stotts comes driving in on the keeper, cannot get it to find the back of the net. Shot clock sits at 6 as that one didn't touch anything. Passes Aaron on the top line, or the front line as it were, and a shot that's put on top of the keeper that comes up empty.
Yeah, Georgia Swarm moving the ball pretty well in the first possession. Aaron pass, really unable to get a quality shot on net.
Good body check there. Knocked away. Good defensive play there. Brendan Bomberry, they're expecting a lot out of Brandon here. The Georgia Swarm are. In 2019-2020, 7th overall pick from 2018. Part of the Holden Catoni Jesse King deal. The pick was, and then that's when they ended up with Bomberry. Swarm with it back. Work around on top, push him out. That was Brian Cole who had it. Scramble for the loose ball, and Philadelphia has it back.
Yeah, Shane Jackson unable to secure the pass, turns the ball over. 2 defensive possessions for the Swarm. 2 very quality defensive series. And a great job of getting that stick up by Lyle Thompson to alter the shot.
Alter the shot of Kevin Crawley. Crawley, who was in New England at least at the start of last year, traded to Philadelphia. His second time playing in a Philadelphia uniform. This time, of course, for the new franchise.
Lyle, after staying in on defense, is going to get a breather here offensively.
Jordan Hall just had his first touch a moment ago. He's got it back. He's streaking in on the keeper. And that one sails high and wide. 8 on the shot clock. Work around behind. Now trying to get it back in front. A whipping left-handed shot that is to the left, or the right of the keeper, I beg your pardon. That was Shane Jackson on the attempt. Shane Jackson, 32, who you saw there just a few moments ago as they make a shift change, had a hat trick and 4 assists versus Rochester in week 1. 83 plus points in each of the last 3 years for 32 in blue.
Earlier on in the contest, defensively, Philadelphia, they're really trying to get physical and attack the Swarm as they get into the circle, and really not allowing the Swarm that chance to get open looks on the keeper.
Josh Courier came up empty on his first shot attempt to the ball game, 27 in white. He's got it back. He's trying to move in on Poulin. And he's altered defensively by Bomberry right on the crease. There's Brennan Bomberry.
Early on, it's been the Swarm defensively, bringing the physicality, really getting in the face of Philadelphia, not letting them get set and run anything.
Lyle Thompson, the jump shot.
Get that fresh shot clock. You have the opportunity to reset. Sending somebody up high to mark.
Randy
Lyle Thompson.
Stotts.
And almost
Oh, my.
getting inside Lyle Thompson. That's how close it was for Thompson, reaching across the face with that jump shot.
Nice push out. Extend the offense out. Nice ripping left-handed shot that will find only the backstop. Still rolling around back there behind Poulin. Still in the air. And they'll call that a violation.
Crease violation coming through, trying to get the handle was Matsitz. He ended up stepping into the crease.
First touch of the ball game for Matisse. Kyle Matisse. We'll talk a lot about him in this ball game. Spin move and a beauty. Is that Zed Williams? Getting his first opportunity in the ball game. Zed Williams had a great second season last year. Zed Williams coming up empty on that opportunity. Philadelphia has it back.
Swarm feel their opportunities getting into the face of the goalie, and a lot of times you want to see him broken stick by Crowley. He's gonna have to go trade out. That really messes up Philadelphia's offensive flow, having to cycle somebody in, and you saw just a poor shot. They'll get a push on Bomberry. In Philadelphia, they get to keep the possession.
That'll push us to our first TV timeout. No score in Atlanta. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Watch all the action from around the National Lacrosse League this season on BR Live. Choose an annual, monthly, or per game pass. For more information, visit nll.com/BR Live. Back in Metro Atlanta at the Infinite Energy Arena. Live on BR Live this evening, your home for the National Lacrosse League. Shot put on Poulin. Mike comes up with a save. And it turns into a break. This is Krepensek.
Yeah,
Now they'll hit the shift change.
Swarm's gonna slow it down, set up the offense. Brian Cole, they trust him getting the offense started. He's gonna get it into Lyle Thompson. And this is gonna run through Hall and Thompson right now.
Jackson. Off to Lyle Thompson. Thompson gets a little bit of diversion from a teammate. This is Brian Cole. Brian Cole transitioning, and I don't just mean in the positional sense, but he is actually transitioning positionally. Listed as a forward officially in the league this year, the Oakville, Ontario native. 55 in blue. Got ourselves a little bit of conversation here.
Gonna be a hold on Steph Charbonneau of Philadelphia. So the man-up advantage for the Georgia Swarm. They scored 3 power play goals against Rochester in week 1.
That's the last place you want to be defensively against the Georgia Swarm. A man down. Stotts gets the first rip at it. Kicks out, head towards the center circle, and it's scooped up by Philadelphia. Push in. Got a defender back, or at least an offensive man back to defend. That was Jordan Hall, who was able to check.
And Ryan Wagner, the breakout from Philadelphia, he wanted it, but a great positioning by the Swarm to take away that angle. Kick save by Poulin.
On Kyle Matisse. Kyle Matisse, the former Swarm player, 2013 through 18, comes up empty against his former teammate. 20 on the shot clock. And still 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the power play. This is Randy Stotts. Over to Brian Cole. Shane Jackson. Back to Stotts.
Great screen out by Brian Cole.
Behind the back pass, and it was a little too rich for Thompson. Stotts at the top. Quick pass and shot. Comes up empty.
Tried that classic one-timer with Shane Jackson.
Randy Stotts takes another shot. He wants this goal in the worst way. Thompson scoops it up. Lyle's got an open lane. Instead goes behind where he finds a teammate. That's Stotts. Now working around to Cole. I was talking about Brian Cole just a few moments ago. He went for a goal and 2 assists. Scooped up 6 loose balls against Rochester in week 1, making the transition to the forward position here in 2019-20. Had 10 goals last year.
Yeah, and Brian Cole just 5-hole right in between the legs of the keeper, Zach Higgins. They were trying to set that up. They just wanted a good shot. And when you're down a man trying to defend the Georgia Swarm, it's hard enough to defend them 5-on-5. When you're down a man, it's really tough.
Brian Cole, quite frankly, had one of the more successful playing careers in high school. In college. While at Maryland, 4 NCAA Final Fours, played in 3 NCAA championship games. There's another look at the goal by Cole.
Not only were they down a man, but Kyle Matisse lost his stick, so effectively they were down 2 trying to defend the Georgia Swarm.
So the Georgia Swarm draw first blood here in Metro Atlanta tonight. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us on BR Live alongside Tabitha Turner and Brandon Joseph. I'm Chris Mooneyham. BR Live, your home for the National Lacrosse League in 2019-2020. Georgia among the, maybe let's call it a handful of favorites to win the championship in the National Lacrosse League in 2020. Philadelphia, well, they firmly believe that they could be a playoff team in 2020. Let's take another look at the goal, Brandon.
Yeah, and again, Swarm, great job of rotating, coming from behind the net. And that was Randy Stotts behind the net. That's the key. Finds that lane and was able to get it to Cole. And Cole with a great shot right between the legs of Higgins. That's the movement, the passing. Sometimes the goal is set up more importantly by the passing that leads to the actual score. And that was it there. The rotation, the movement, Stotts getting behind the net and being able to facilitate. Have a little bit of a delay as they try to figure out the shot clock as it's frozen on 2 seconds.
The shot clock, not the game clock. Game clock sits at 7:40, first quarter here in Metro Atlanta. Zach Higgins between the pipes for Philadelphia. Man from Ontario, 6'1", 225-pounder, gives up his first goal of the 2019-2020 season. And you can hear the officials talking about it. Let's listen in for a moment.
This one, okay?
They're still working
Okay,
on getting the
that here
second
comes
one.
out. But so we're gonna go now, and then everyone after this, let's make sure we get on the second replay, okay? All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Marco Ardonio is our crew chief. One of the new implementations of our BR Live broadcasts here in 2019-20. We are going to get you inside the front door of these conversations between the men in stripes. And in fact, here's your PSA. Sometimes it might get a little colorful
Yeah, and if you think that these referees are getting these huddles talking about their post-game orders, you'll see here on the National Lacrosse League and BR Live that they're working when they're getting together, trying to come up with the best decision. We're going to get referees some respect this season.
You might hear a little bit of salty language as well, I can promise you that. For all the tough guys out there, they're not talking about popcorn and unicorns. Kick save and a beauty by Poulin off to the right. Ball still loose, and it's picked up in the end by Connor Sellers.
Yeah, Connor
Sellers, who scooped up 65 loose balls last year. I beg your pardon, Brennan.
Connor Sellers picked up his eyes and lost track of the ball. Well, a great job of recovering, because that would have been a critical turnover if Philadelphia was able to come up with it in the Georgia Swarm defensive half.
Randy Stotts. Spin, pass, a beauty. Oh, my.
Yeah, Matt Rambo got caught with a skirt burp and lost his feet, got ankles, classic ankles, and found the turf.
1-0 Georgia on top of Philadelphia, the season opener for the Georgia Swarm. Sitting at 1-0 after a win in week 1 versus Rochester. That was 2 weeks ago. This is week 3 of the National Lacrosse League. 6:25 mark, first quarter. Better hurry, 4 on the shot clock. Loose ball going to turn into a violation.
And early on in this contest, not a lot of goals. If I would have told you halfway through the first, if there was only 1 goal scored, you wouldn't believe me. But this is how good these teams are playing defensively. Philadelphia's doing a great job of not letting the Swarm get in tight and trying to create goals that way.
You saw Ed Cuomo a few moments ago on the Georgia Swarm bench. Coach Cuomo going after a little bit of history tonight, by the way. We kind of buried one of those leads, didn't we? A win tonight for Coach Cuomo would be number 100 in his career. Only 2 other head coaches in league history have won 100 games. Mark that, only 3 other head coaches have ever won 100 games. So he would be the 4th to do that in league history. A 99 game winner, 50 plus here for the Georgia Swarm. Lyle tries for the spin move, gets pushed out of it. Checked at the top, going to give off to Jordan Hall. Hall's second shot of the ball game is sent away by Higgins. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, of course, led by Paul Day. 86-83 regular season record as a head coach here in the league. Also the general manager for the Wings. Many of you know Paul Day quite well. He's played in, or appeared in 9 finals, series or games in this league's history. Winner 5 times. Right on Poulin. Reset the shot clock.
Yeah, great job by Mike Poulin to stay big and take away the angle of that shot. That was a shot that you were just hoping Poulin got a little lazy, but Mike Poulin never lazy.
Nice move there by Cole to hit Randy Stotts. Randy not quite able to finish it off. Pretty good keeper play by Zach Higgins so far in quarter number 1.
Yeah, good job of getting back over to that keeper right side by Higgins. That was a designed misdirection play to get Higgins starting to move left and then coming right across his face. And he did a great job of reacting.
Well, you mentioned it, a low-scoring affair to be sure. Chad Tutton with the outlet. He's going to slow it down, and they'll most likely set up the offense with the change. 3rd all-time meeting between these 2 teams. They split last year. Back on January 12th, 13-11, Georgia Swarm win in Philadelphia. Thompson, Miles this time, and he's sent away by Higgins.
Yeah, Miles Thompson squared up with Higgins. And Higgins did a great job of forcing Miles Thompson to make his move before he reacted. Miles was hoping Higgins would kind of sell which way he wanted to go, and Thompson would go the other way, but Higgins stayed on the back foot.
In that matchup on January 12th, Philadelphia jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first quarter. Georgia scored 8 straight, held on for a 13-11 win. Randy Stotts had 7 points, Lyle had 6. Mike Poulin had 49 saves that night. Another break on BR Live. This is week 3 of the National Lacrosse.
Back where the Swarm lead the Wings 1-0. Coach Camo, it's been the first 7 minutes of the game went scoreless, but the Swarm lead 1-0. How can you guys get more scores on the board?
Well, I think we're getting some good chance. I think both defense have played well. Got a lot of sticks on shots, making guys shoot wide. But we're gonna keep going here, and I think I like the way we're looking. We're moving. We just gotta keep moving the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, indeed, a 1-0 affair here at the 3:31 mark of the first quarter in Metro Atlanta. Where if you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us on BR Live. The Georgia Swarm opening up their 2019-2020 home campaign. Philadelphia starting their season tonight in totality. In fact, they are the only team into play tonight who has yet to play a ball game. And the opening salvo for Philadelphia. 1-1 in Atlanta on the goal by Corey Vitarelli, the 5'10", 220-pound Peterborough, Ontario native. A lefty who spent last year in Colorado since one in. And we're at 1-1 in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, just a pass across to Vitarelli, and Vitarelli immediately redirects it over the right side of Puan, just late getting over.
Bringing Vitarelli over could be quite the coup for them. This guy played sparingly last year in Colorado, just 6 ball games, but he had 14 points in those 6 contests, 8 goals and 6 assists. Well, they really love what they could be in 2019-20.
And that was started with a dump back pass by Brett Hickey. And then the pass comes across to Vitarelli, and Vitarelli puts it into the back of the net.
I was able to coax a couple of guys to admit to me
How much you pay them?
what they really thought they could do in 2020 by season's end. And I said, look, I'll keep it to myself. I won't name names, but be honest with me. What do you think you guys could really do here in 2020? And I had a couple of guys, and after I brought it up, a third guy who admitted to me, sure, I could see that happening. This Philadelphia team truly believes they could absolutely be a playoff team by the end of the 2020 season.
What were their names?
I promised them, Brandon, I promised them. They got a chance at the lead right here. Nice push out by Krepinski, at least for the moment. Work around behind. Now trying for the wraparound.
Yeah, Courier with the wraparound, tried to dive across, ended up landing in the crease for the crease violation, but a good shot attempt from Philadelphia. And I think if you're the Georgia Swarm, after being up 1-0 after the long scoreless try to establish the mention to start the contest, you want to get back up in front. Goals seemingly earlier on this contest will be at a premium.
Josh Courier was trying for his first goal of the season. He's a big reason they think they could be a playoff team. He was a finalist for the Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago. Speaking of finalists for awards. Randy Stotts, one of the great players in our league, begins his 2019-20 scoring season.
Yeah, Randy Stotts with a great shot. Off of the loose ball. I think Philadelphia thought that they were going to be able to get the turnover. Ends up going back to Lyle Thompson. Lyle Thompson gets the ball over to Stotts, and Philadelphia playing on their heels after that. Randy Stotts last year was an example of what he could do consistently with the Swarm, and when you have Lyle Thompson and Randy Stotts, that's a devastating 1-2 punch.
Randy, the 2016 National Lacrosse League Rookie of the Year, of course, where he scored 95 points. That was an NLL rookie record. Last year, 37 goals, 59 assists. What a fine, fine year Randy Stotts had last year. The Six Nations native.
Now for Georgia, you want to lock it in. You want to get one more goal and lock this lead in.
Big to get that second goal as well, reclaim the lead immediately after Philadelphia levels the match.
Yeah, because when you played square up and Philadelphia's either had to come from a defensive set or come from their own defensive half and try to move it forward attacking, they haven't really been able to create those opportunities. Credit to Georgia playing defense so well. That goal came off of a restart where they got the ball in the Swarm attacking half after the ball went out of play off of a Swarm player. So for Georgia, you have to feel good about playing what they call square up defense when you force a team to come either the length of the floor or out of a face-off.
Into the final minute and a half of the opening quarter here in Metro Atlanta.
Philadelphia's slowing down, trying to methodically move the ball offensively.
Matisse got caught in the air and tried to get rid of it to a teammate. The pass was intercepted by Joel White. The Cortland, New York native with over 700 loose balls collected in his career comes away with a steal of a pass and gets the Swarm the ball back inside the final minute.
Normally when you go that slow, you're trying to set up a down screen, almost like a basketball pick and roll. Philadelphia just tried to change the tempo to catch Georgia sleeping, but unable to get anything going as they turned it over off of the errant pass.
Now the final half minute. Crawley. Kevin Crawley. Got it back. Oh, he's down here on the bottom side. He's got a chance to scoop up the loose ball, and he does.
Swarm doing this a man down as Brian Cole was given a 2-minute minor after that goal was scored. Finally get him back out. He's going to play into the offense.
Right down there on our floor mic, you can hear the collisions on the board, and that will draw us to the end of the first quarter. A low scoring but entertaining first quarter nonetheless. Georgia with the opening goal of the ball game. Philadelphia evened it up, and Georgia was able to retake the lead on a goal by Randy Stotts. There's Brian Cole with the opener. Stotts would give his team the lead. 2-1 Georgia through one in Metro Atlanta, the National Lacrosse League. Stay up to date on all the news, announcements, and exclusive prizes with the National Lacrosse League newsletter. Sign up now at NLL.com. Start of second quarter play here in Metro Atlanta, Infinite Energy Arena in Duluth in the northeast portion of the sprawling Atlanta Metroplex. Thanks for joining us. Back alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Moningham from our broadcast perch here at Sting City. Tabitha Turner, the third member of our crew, down on the floor this evening. There's a good look at the Georgia Swarm, and there's their head man, Ed Cuomo, who during the break, we had his mic open, we were able to hear what he was saying. He was praising his team in a major, major way with a transition defense.
Yeah, they're forcing Philadelphia to have to work defensively. They're doing a great job of not letting Philadelphia get numbers forward. They're having easy changes where their guys in transition are coming off the bench to set defensively.
Well, flip sides of the floor. And Georgia now will move from right to left. Your television screens or on your radio dial if you're taking us in on 680 The Fan and 93.7 FM in Atlanta. 3-1 Georgia Swarm.
Yeah, and the Swarm getting the party started. You see the dance right out of the second quarter, and this is what the Swarm wanted to do. A long shot. A lot of bodies in front. You can see from the goalie angle. You try picking up the ball from there. That's called a perfect screen out. Miles Thompson comes and creates the screen. Shane Jackson comes in behind it. It's tough for a keeper to pick up the ball in that scenario.
Yeah, Brandon, that was absolutely designed.
Yeah.
Miles went careening into the two defenders. After Shane scored the goal, Miles turned around and gave him a smile and a wink.
Root for chaos.
Yep. Shane Jackson with the goal, had a hat trick and 4 assists versus Rochester in week 1. Shane having such a fine, underrated career for all intents and purposes. 31 goals last year, 49 assists.
And now if you're Philadelphia, you can't take a shot that early in the shot clock coming out of the Georgia goal, because now you're giving up transition.
McIntosh, oh, he lost the handle. Jordan was trying to put a spin move on. Great job defensively to alter the possession, alter the handle in cradle. Nick Finley was the man who made that play. Spent last year in Saskatchewan.
And these are a lot of the ruts that Philadelphia found themselves in last year. They would get down and then almost have that panic play to try to get back in, and then the game would get away from them, and then they would have to fight back late in contest, and that's where you had the 8 games that were really close. But if Philadelphia avoids those panic scenarios as they get a shot clock violation here, they will be in a lot better positioning as the game progresses. They had one possession there right after the Georgia goal that was a little bit of a chaos panic possession, but they hope to settle in nicely.
Lyle Thompson At the top, comes a Redder defender and puts it into the back of the net. Lyle Thompson, the 2017 league MVP, the #1 overall selection from 2016, and now the two-time reigning Sportsmanship Award winner in our league.
Yeah,
he's opened this scoring in 2019-20.
Let's see that 1-2 step from Lyle Thompson. Look, 1-2 off of the shove in the back by Philadelphia, and he just used that to his advantage. He expected the contact from behind, used it to propel himself forward, and the big key of Lyle Thompson as he scored his first goal tonight was he always stayed in an athletic position to shoot the ball at any scenario, and he was able to do that. Looks like we'll get a timeout in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Paul Day deciding to use one, or use it, as it were. As it was, 13:27 mark of the second quarter. Let's listen.
Come on in, boys. Come on in. Hey, fellas, things are going well, but it's a good time. Let's take a deep breath, right, fellas? Relax. All right. Okay, good work, fellas. Hey, defense, great job being on gloves, right? Great job of helping. We're really looking to help, which is great. The one they got, nice shot. Those are going to go in sometimes, right? Offense, we're feeling it. Once we started moving, sending good picks, right? Miles, that goal Jacko got, that was his hustle, right? We talk about the little things. Miles, hard off the bench. Two guys go to him, Jacko gets a look, right? Randy sets a great seal. LT comes around, right? Simple things. Let's go, boys. Keep it going.
Fans, don't forget to get your Swarm on this holiday season. Purchase a holiday 4-pack, 4 tickets bundled with 4 beanies. For more information on this great offer, go to georgiaswarm.com/holiday. Get in on Atlanta's best kept sports secret. Boy, I'm loving this NLL wire.
Yeah, you get the insight on what goes on the bench. Constant encouragement from the coaching staff of the Georgia Swarm, and they want to build on that foundation. You're doing things right. That's why you're up 4-1. You want to continue doing it, and the things that he's preaching are those little things that they go on in practice. Do the things like screening out, creating havoc in front of the keeper's eyes. Those type of things lead to goals.
Center circle violation, so Philadelphia giving it without a fight, and Mike Poulin comes up with a big save. Mike Poulin, the Poulin Wall. What a career that man has had.
Again, I'm going to need it in writing that he likes being called the Poulin Wall before I call him the Poulin Wall.
Yeah, I almost don't want to ask him because I'm afraid he'll say no. And I love saying it so much.
That's the only club in the bag you got in terms of nicknames for him. So if he says no, what are you going to do?
I don't know what I'll do. That's probably part of my problem, to be quite frank with you. 4-1 ball game, 12:40 mark, second quarter. Philadelphia has it back after corralling a loose ball.
Philadelphia, a long time getting that change. Ryan Wagner had to basically do a little ditty in the middle of the field as he waited for the offense to get back on before he was able to get off, but he had to buy the time. Now they're working with an abbreviated shot clock, and just not enough time as Poulin loves to set the offense.
Great job by Zed Williams to force out Baptiste.
For fans who do lacrosse. Lacrosse is a dead ball and restart, so defense can get set in position, the Storm can get the right players on the floor as they turn it over there. And here comes Philadelphia with an out-man rush. Here's 2-on-1.
Push up.
Looking for help.
Shut on. Poulin not
the
needed to make a save there. It does careen off the boards and kick all the way out to the center circle where Philadelphia will have it back. Now another shot put on top of Poulin, nothing doing. And the Swarm have it back. Boy, they've been so good on loose balls in this affair. Bunbury trying for one. Work it back out. Joel White has it. Now the Swarm will slow things down and look for the shift change. On top, altered pass. Down on the boards, good battle. Gonna be, well, looked for a moment like it was going to be scooped up, still rolling around down behind Higgins. And Philadelphia has it back.
Philadelphia, they need to get something going here.
Ian Lord tries for it. Mike makes the save, has no idea where it is. Ian Lord tried to follow it. The St. Catharines, Ontario man who had 15 appearances last year, collected 1 assist. Could not get his first goal. And the the Swarm have it back.
Georgia Swarm running a little read option there with Jordan McIntosh. Don't tell me all these sports don't cross over. McIntosh had two options there. The ball's going to deflect off of Philadelphia, stay with the Georgia Swarm. The option to give it on the circle back or continue through.
Now the shot clock reset, by the way. They got about 2 extra seconds out of that. Thompson comes streaking into the crease, or near the crease, a better way of putting it.
And they're going to say he
now we'll
touched
head back
the crease.
the other way. Yep.
Quick restart from Philadelphia. It only really benefits if the guy's able to control the ball. And
Anthony
we're not
Joaquin.
able. Joaquin was unable to control it. They were late again. They got to get better about getting these guys off the bench if they want to have more time to set the offense.
Potential breakaway. It's a 3-on-2. Shot on Higgins. He makes a right-handed save. And almost literally it hit his right claw and bounced off to the boards where Philadelphia scooped it up and they'll push. Underhanded shot won't connect. Still loose down in front. Trying to pick it up himself, and here's another breakaway potentially for Georgia. They do such a great job of this with their defenders, with their defensemen. They can at least put pressure on a team trying to get a shift change. Now McIntosh will trade out.
Delayed penalty, so Swarm will bring on an extra player.
Stott has his pass stolen. Whistle will blow, and that will take us to the break.
Swarm will be a man up as they get the penalty. That's how the score started.
That was 2. Great job, Miles. That was you. That was you. Look at that. 2 guys. Great job.
Welcome back, where the Swarm lead the Wings 4-1. Coach, to begin the second quarter, your team gave up 2 straight goals in the first 2 minutes. What adjustment, should I say, does your team need to make to slow down the offensive pace of this game?
Yeah, they got us one off the bench on a bit of a delay on us off the bench. So, you know, we took a timeout just to slow the momentum. Obviously, offensively, I think we got to shoot the ball. So after the timeout, we've got some good quality shots. Just got to stay out of the box here.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Guys.
4-1 Georgia. Now at 9:15 in this second quarter. Thanks for joining us for National Lacrosse League action on BR Live. And if you're in the Atlanta area, 680 The Fan and 93.7 FM. Workaround. Hall to Thompson. Lyle, an underhanded right-handed shot. The second goal of the night for the great Lyle Thompson. And Brandon, look how easy. He makes it look so easy.
Easy, breezy, beautiful. Lyle Thompson. Lyle Thompson with the little fake freezes everybody, including the keeper, Zach Higgins, and just fly by. Lyle Thompson puts it in the back of the net.
Why am I thinking about makeup now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I totally did not just sing a trademark song.
5-1 now. The boys in blue on top of Philadelphia. We mentioned the first time they got together back in January of this year, 13-11, the Swarm with the victory. Fell behind 2-0, scored 8 unanswered, held on to win 13-11. The last time they got together, again, a bit of a scheduling oddity for Philadelphia. Their season finale was here in Atlanta last year, and now they're opening their season here in Atlanta this year. That was a, well, to say dominating Philadelphia win would be to undersell their performance. A 19-11 victory, a 19-14, I beg your pardon, here in Atlanta in the season finale in their inaugural campaign on a high note.
Yeah, we called that game, and safe to say, not a knock on Philadelphia, but the Swarm were a better team, but they left us shell-shocked. Calling that game, watching that game, witnessing that game.
Georgia took a 1-0 lead in that ball game just a minute and a half into the affair back on April 20th. Philadelphia scored 6 unanswered and went on to win 19-14. Nice check into the board there, by the way, by Joel White. Alters the offensive man and his path to the rock, and so Georgia's able to pick up the loose ball.
And the Swarm's starting to settle in a little bit as we've reached halfway through this second quarter.
Lyle checks back in, gives off to Miles. Miles Thompson on the top, looks for a teammate. Shane Jackson had it, tried the ripper, it hit a defender. Trevor Baptiste trying to pick it up, and he does. He'll lose it with the challenge of Lyle Thompson. And now it belonged to Liam Burns, at least for the moment. Drive in, underhanded shot. A little too weak to test Poulin on that. Now Poulin with the outlet. Lyle Thompson. Oh my, a collision here, and we're going to have ourselves a stoppage in play.
Yeah, they're going to get the medical staff out real quick. Both those players. Higgins is the one on the ground, writhing in pain on his side as contact was made. And what it was a Poulin with the outlet to Lyle Thompson. Lyle Thompson came running down, and the trailing defender, as we get a look here, look at Lyle, he gets back on, look at that awareness, and Poulin gets his head up, they get the ball to Lyle, and then they see the trailing defender just takes out the keeper at the knees, and you have to wonder when the keeper is fully sprawled out like that and contact gets made to his leg. You just hope the best for Zach Higgins.
Wagner had to absolutely sell out defensively, did he not? I don't mind the play, even if you end up taking a penalty. He had to sell out, and you described it. I mean, he was full-on Superman jump onto the back of Lyle Thompson. Oh, well, actually, you know what? I beg your pardon. Let me correct myself. He almost kind of stumbled into him. Now Higgins up on his feet after catching his breath. He'll put on the tools of the trade once more and stay between the pipes. That's a tough dude right there. Zach Higgins staying in the ball game at 7:07 in the second quarter. His team trailing 5-1.
And he'll get a little bit of a breather here. It was a crease violation on Lyle Thompson, so Philadelphia will get the ball. He'll get a couple more seconds to get his wits about him. But yeah, scary contact with Zach Higgins. We're glad he's up, he's moving around.
Kevin Buchanan, Maryland native, in New England last year, gives off to a teammate. Kind of squirts loose down there on the boards. Georgia trying to pick it up, and they do. Belongs to Jason Noble, and Jason pushing.
Great cutback by Jason Noble to get this offense started.
Oh, baby, the trailer. Can't get it finished, pops up in the air. Higgins with the save, he'll try it an outlet. Matisse. Nice move, couldn't get it past Mike Poulin, still loose. Philadelphia will keep possession and a reset of the shot clock.
That move scores on a lot of keepers. Great job of getting it out and winning. Georgia Swarm, now they're gonna slow it down. I think they like this tempo. They'll take the outlets when they can get it to get that transition game, but they feel comfortable slowing it down, setting up the offense.
By the way, Brandon, we just got our first look at Kaysen Tarbell, the number 11 overall selection in the 2019 draft. The Salmon River, New York native, the right-hander at 6'2", 185 pounds, was just in the ball game a few moments ago. Shane Jackson gonna put an underhanded shot on top of Higgins. He's able to make the save. We'll head back the other way.
And Tarbell, he's cool, calm, and collected. I remember watching Tabitha Turner, our very own, interviewing him at the NLO draft. Kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Just ready to go, wasn't he?
Yep, he was ready to play that night.
Outlet to McIntosh. Jordan driving in, makes a move to his right. Puts a bounce shot down on top of Zach Higgins. But it bounces just a little too far out in front of Higgins. He really didn't have much of a challenge in the end.
We're under 5 minutes here in the second quarter. If you're Philadelphia, you want to get at least 1 or 2 back before the break. You don't want to go down in halftime by 4 goals. And that's almost a quarter advantage for the Georgia Swarm when they're up 4. Not a lot of times they're going to concede, -4 in a quarter. So for Philadelphia, you want to try to start clawing your way back now. It's easier to do it now than later in the contest.
Mike Poulin just made another tremendous save, 5-hole.
Great circle back and trying to make the cut. Nobody home.
Or trying to find a teammate. Pass was a little bit behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah, when Rambo makes that cutback, somebody needs to fill that lane immediately so he has the outlet. That's not a play where he goes to put it on net. That's a play to pass.
Lyle Thompson with a couple of goals. Georgia Swarm with a 5-1 lead. 4:41 second quarter on VR Live.
Our guy didn't go, Lyle didn't go into the goalie at all.
You good? All right.
Knocked the wind out of me.
It was your defenseman.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, bro.
Back on the floor here in Metro Atlanta, 5-1. Georgia Swarm out in front. Jason Cole, or Brian Cole, I beg your pardon, was bidding to make it 6-1, looking for his first goal of the campaign. Now we got stuck in the thigh pad or the knee pad, the shin pad there. Zach Higgins. Don't look now, by the way, Brandon. I know we keep talking about it, but we got to mention this defense once more. 5 goals allowed, and we're nearly 6 quarters into the season for the Georgia Swarm transition, defense, and keeper. Goodness.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of just stifling out any offensive play that Philadelphia tries to run. Nice little give and go, and they're able to get that one into the back of the net as you just hit them perfectly with the announcer's jinx.
Curse of the broadcaster, Kevin Crowley, who held out New England last year, was traded to Philadelphia. This is his second tour in the city of brotherly love. The new Westminster, British Columbia native, at 6'4", 200 pounds, had 35 goals last year for Philadelphia. Now has his first tally of the 2019-2020 season. Catches Poulin on top left. That was an absolute missile. Mike had the right idea, by the way.
Yeah.
He was making the move on it. He just couldn't get it because that one came screaming past him at 120.
That was one of the first time a play actually worked for Philadelphia as Crowley gets his first goal. Right.
So 5-2 now at 3:45 remaining in the first half. Got a big halftime show in store for you here on BR Live. We'll tell you more about that in the next few moments.
Again, down 3. Matisse getting the offense started. Now he's going to try to set a screen. They don't use the screen. The little good screen is to go to Rambo.
Matt gonna drive in, try flying in, just before he gets to the crease, and did that ball go into the back of the net? I believe it did, yes sir.
He was able to drop it just low enough to roll it past the ankle of Mike Poulin, Matt Rambo.
Matt Rambo, who is just outside of Philadelphia. Watch this move.
Yeah, great job with the head fake on McIntosh. Was able to get it in, sprawl out, not touch the crease. But Ed Cuomo thinks he did touch the crease, so he's going to throw his challenge flag here, and we're going to get a review of this goal.
Matt Rambo, 26 goals last year, had 30 assists. 4 power play goals, 4 power play assists. You'll remember, many of you will, that Rambo and Randy Stotts were Rookie of the Year favorites a few years ago, an award that Stotts won.
Yes, please, the last goal. Thank you.
Here's the goal by Rambo once more. What do you see here, Brandon?
You're waiting to see if he comes in contact with the crease before the ball crosses that white line to get in. It's going to rely on these angles here.
That is very, very close.
Yeah, looking knees down. I don't think the ball is crossed, but I don't know. And you have to know when you are going to overturn a call there. It looks like it's in line with Poulin's shoe. Ball, from when I'm sure that he's down, the ball is passed, but it could be down beforehand. Now, referees are allowed some leeway into making the determination of, can you find a similar point in time? These videos, to a certain extent, are time-coded, so you can look at different angles and piece it together of the exact moment. So on this angle that we're seeing now, you don't necessarily see when the ball crosses the line, but you do see when his knee touches can you find the corresponding shot where the ball is at that same moment in time and piece the two together to make the call? And if after that, it will probably stand if you can't make the determination off of that. But
If you had to go one way or another, can I put you on the spot? Will you make the call? I don't think they overturn it.
I will say it will stand as it was called. You can't reach the threshold to overturn it here. I don't think. See how I gave myself the bailout?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think.
You're a professional broadcaster. I see how you did that. We learned that in school as broadcasters, how to bail our own.
See, at this point, I think the knee is down and the ball is not across. Notice the inflection in my voice.
You're very good at this game. Matt Rambo also very good at playing the Georgia Swarm. Had 6 points.
Oh, we got the super
against the blue
zoom.
and yellow yesterday.
If the knee's down there, if you make the determination, knees down.
I think he's down.
Ball's not in.
I just have a feeling they're not going to overturn this thing. Be a big goal, by the way.
The
Go
fans
from 5-2
say
to
that
5-3.
the fans say that the knee was down beforehand, and I don't know if the referee wants to take the thoughts of the Georgia Swarm fans into account. But if he was looking for some help, the consensus is from the fans here at Infinite Energy Arena, here at Cherokee's Casinos Field, that he was down. And we'll get the ruling here. See if I'm 1-0 or 0-1 in the season.
After review, the call on the floor has been overturned as the shooter's knee touched prior to the ball crossing the goal. No goal.
Just like I said.
Great call, Brandon.
Shooter's knees down. I'm 1-0.
A tremendous call, Brandon.
Clear and concise video evidence there.
And your explanation was clear and concise.
And it looks like one of the associate captains for Philadelphia is going to get the same explanation. Could have just gave him a headset. I could have gave him the explanation right there. But again, you were able to put together multiple video angles that get the complete picture.
He needed the Superman parallel jump.
Yeah.
Keep that knee off the ground. As it stands, instead of 5-3, it's 5-2, and that's, well, we'll see if it's a big momentum swing. You have a feeling that it will be. So 5-2 as we hit the 3-minute mark of this second quarter, closing in on the end of first half play. A pass to Jordan Hall is batted away, incomplete for lack of a better phrase. And now Philadelphia has it back.
And Isaiah Davis-Allen took the ball up a long way. You would like some better communication to allow Nick Finley to get off the field and get offense back on.
One-time shot right down on top of Poulin, makes a save with his right foot. Still down on the board, picked up by a Philadelphia man. Now, what was that call? And now we've got some physicality going on.
Well, the Swarm wanted the quick restart, but Philadelphia getting a little chippy here, and I don't think you really want to get chippy with Chad Dutton.
Miles Thompson behind Higgins. Zed Williams. Work around to Shane Jackson. Here's Brian Cole to the top. Williams and his shot deflected.
Trevor Baptiste out of position there, getting into the physical aspect of it. He got caught up too much in applying body checks and gave away his lane and gave the Swarm a clear look.
Now driving in on Poulin and getting the goal. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brandon, this might be close as well. Matt Rambo looking for that goal that was taken away from him a few moments ago. He's not happy about it, by the way, as he barks to the nearest man in stripes.
Yeah,
Don't suppose there'll be a replay on this one, but let's see.
Rambo again fighting through the contact from Mackin. And a great job fighting through, and yeah, he just went high around Poulin. He had to go a long way. Credit to Matt Rambo. Put the stick out there. As soon as Poulin went wide, he was able to cut it back and drop it right over the shoulder. Good job of showing and then taking away for Matt Rambo.
Well, it looked like Alex Krepensek was going to have the right step on Rambo, but at the very last moment, Matt turned on his speed. He's a very, very quick player. Was able to turn around Krepensek, get the goal into the back of the net. So 5-3 now, with about a minute and a half and some change remaining in this first half.
We'll get a block. And will that block result in a penalty? Looks like it will.
Chad Dutton sent down. Hey, coming up at the half, folks, don't forget that Devin Caney gives us a glimpse into how the National Lacrosse League's newest city is embracing the sport of lacrosse. Highlights and analysis of the first half and a look around the league as well. All that more coming up at the half.
The Brett Hickey in the penalty box, 2 minutes with a cross check.
There's a look at Matt Rambo after scoring the goal. 2-minute minor. Swarm on the power play. Stop. On Higgins, off to his left.
2 power play goals already for the Swarm.
Randy, behind the back, Lyle Thompson, a ripper. That one off the post, so we'll stay on this end. Shot clock reset, obviously. Jordan Hall loses the handle. Back in the cradle to Stotts. Over to Lyle Thompson. Lyle behind the back, finding Miles. Back to Lyle, working around deliberately. There it is. Jordan Hall is in the scores table in 2019-20. Jordan Hall makes his return to Atlanta with a goal here to start his season. The Surrey, British Columbia native, the left-hander, who will always be remembered here in Georgia for his time in the postseason of 2017 when this team won a world title. He went for 12 goals and 6 assists in that point postseason. Now he's on the board this year.
Yeah, it was Lyle to Miles to Lyle to Randy to Hall to the back of the net, and that's making that extra pass, forcing those 4 guys on defense to have to rotate over, and that's what you want to do. You want to keep on switching that side of the field and forcing those guys to move the absolute longest way, and then you get one that's moving late, has a lane, and you just fire it and hope you get it past the keeper. Jordan Hall took that opportunity as they were late rotating over in that little square defense that teams normally play when they get a man down.
Everyone getting into the act, collecting their first goals at home this year. Lyles collected a goal at home. Jordan Hall, Randy Stotts, Shane Jackson, all of whom, by the way, scored in Rochester. In some form or fashion, had points in Rochester. Now all of those men, the biggest scorers for Georgia, have scored at home. To open up the home slate, look at that ripper by Stotts that kicked off the pipe. And here comes Philadelphia with a 2-on-1 and a bit of an errant pass going to allow Georgia to get back defensively.
Yeah, 2-on-1, unable to get it clean to Kevin Buchanan. Really ends that opportunity for the odd man rush. And now Philadelphia, they're just going to hold for the final shot. They're going to bring an extra attacker on. Great job by Poulin and getting big.
Who was up in the crease. And that'll bring us to the end of first half action. Well, that was a very entertaining first half, and especially you're loving it if you're a Georgia Swarm fan with a 6-3 lead as we get ready for the half. Just about all the biggest names for the Swarm contributing their opening goals at home in 2019-20. Halfway home to a 2-0 mark in the 19-20 season. Tabitha Turner searching and has someone on the side. Tabitha Turner.
Jordan, a lot of good things happened once the Swarm settled in. You got a good lead at the break. What went well that first half?
I mean, obviously our defense and Mike Poulin, they've only got 3 goals right now. If we can hold them to 6 for a game, we're going to win.
Good luck. Thanks, Jordan. Fans, don't go anywhere. The NLL halftime break is next.
Welcome back to the Infinite Energy Arena for NLL at the half. Once again, joined by Drew Petkoff. I'm Mark Zinno. A good one between the Swarm and the Wings so far, but 3 more games on the slate tonight, starting with New England and Saskatchewan, face off at 8:30.
Yeah, that should be a really good game, Mark. Both teams came off their first game with a great victory, a resounding victory, and they look like big heavy hitters in this league moving forward, so it'll be great to see how they match up against each other.
2 games later on the West Coast, New York will face off against Vancouver, and Toronto will match up with San Diego.
Now with New York and Vancouver, it's a little bit of the opposite story. Both teams lost their first game, and they both looked a little bit sloppy. So we're going to see who can kind of get their feet underneath them and ride their momentum to success.
Last week, the Halifax Thunderbirds opened up their season with a 12-4 victory over the New York Riptide. You know, it's one thing to be captain of a team. It's another thing to challenge a team to lead them to success in a brand new city. But if anyone can do it on this occasion, it's former NLL MVP Cody Jamieson. Our own Devin Caney spent the day with the Thunderbirds captain and his teammates in Halifax last weekend. This is Huddle Up with Cody Jamieson.
And the bat came along. A bat. What team would the bat be on? Wing. I would say so too. The bat went to the winged animals and said, I'm on you guys' team. The winged animals said, no, you're not on our team. You don't have no feathers. Look around. Look at us. We all have feathers. You can't be on our team. You're not a bird. The bat was discouraged, and he went to the four-legged animals team and said, they won't let me on their team. I'm on you guys' team. The four-legged animal said, you're not on our team. Look around. You don't look like us.
I heard you telling the kids a story. Can you tell me what that was? What story were you telling them?
I was telling a story about our creation story and how lacrosse was given to us. The four-legged animals ended up letting the bat play on their team. When the birds had the ball, they would be up in the sky flying. And the four-legged animals just had to run on the ground and wait for the bird to drop the ball so they could pick it up. Vice versa, when the four-legged animals had the ball, they had to wait to pass. So when I pass it, a bird would try and swoop in and grab it. That's how the ball got changed from team to team. But there's only one animal who could do both, who could fly really high with the birds and who could fly low between the trees and everything. What animal was that? The bat. So the game ended up 1-0. Who scored the game-winning goal? The bat. That story got told to me by my grandpa because he kind of knew I was always going to be a little bit shorter than everybody else and maybe a little bit heavier than everybody else. It's a story that's passed on through generations, obviously. And when I was younger and getting told that story, it kind of resonated with me a little bit more because I always knew I was smaller and I wasn't really, I didn't look like your prototypical lacrosse player that I was going up against all the time. So lacrosse wasn't given to us to be for only one person to play, or the tallest person's going to be the best player, or the fastest person's going to be the best player. Lacrosse was given for everybody to enjoy. Now that I'm older and I have kids, it hits home to me more now, dealing with everything that this society deals with, not being accepted and things along that nature. I just like to show the kids, especially, that lacrosse is accepting for everybody. Everybody, the bear, the hawk, the eagle, no matter what you look like, no matter how big, how small, how fast, how slow, there's a spot in lacrosse for everybody. And that's kind of why I enjoy lacrosse so much, is because there's a spot, there's a place on the team for everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of shoes I'm wearing or what color my hair is or what color my skin is. It doesn't matter. Lacrosse is made for everybody to play and everybody to enjoy. I just hope to see the other kids who may not get picked first in gym class, to show that they got a spot in this sport. Okay, so we're gonna enjoy today. That's my little story. Long story.
What a good story. What a good story.
Welcome back to the Infinite Energy Arena at halftime as the Swarm have a 6-3 lead over the Philadelphia Wings. Once again, Drew Petkoff joined by Mark Zinno. Take a quick look at the highlights from the first half. Drew, we talk about the Swarm wanting to start fast. Took them a little while to get going, and over 7 minutes passed before they scored their first goal, and it was a pretty one.
Yeah, we had both teams playing really solid defense early on, but here we see two great passes. A great cut by Shane Jackson, which leads to Brian Cole getting open.
The Wings answered right back and tied things up at 1. And then it was after this, some great defense by the Swarm spurs on a 4-goal run to take a 5-1 lead.
Yeah, I think both teams overall played really good defense. I think the Swarm really capitalized on, again, setting great picks and moving the ball, again, what I call east-west passes. So right here, you see Randy Stats, who's a righty, goes over to Hall, who's a lefty, and then back to the right side. Those are all east-west passes, which really confuse the defense, and eventually it leads to an open Stotts.
Swarm, again, a 4-goal run. The Wings answered back with 2 of their own, and then Jordan Hall with the final goal of the first half. And 3 of the Swarm's 6 goals
came on the power play is they were perfect. I misspoke earlier. 3 of 3 on the power play, and there's another power play goal right here by the Swarm. And a beautiful shot by Lyle Thompson, who has 2 goals in this first half. Take a look at the stats there. Shots on goal fairly equal, but they can circle around that power play. 3 for 3 for the Swarm.
Yeah, and what to me is really important about that stat is that the penalties that Philadelphia took were not great penalties, meaning it wasn't a penalty that you would take to prevent a goal. One was a penalty where a guy was cutting through the middle and basically your stick came too high on him. Another penalty was an offensive player basically just making a bad play in the offensive zone and kind of taking a selfish penalty there. Again, not preventing a goal. And so those are 2 preventable goals, meaning if they were off the board, it'd be a 4-3 game.
So it is a 6-3 lead for the Swarm. Take a timeout, come back, start the second half. You're watching Georgia Swarm Lacrosse on the CW 69.
The National Lacrosse League on BR Live is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Ready to start a third quarter play here at the Infinite Energy Arena, Sting City in Metro Atlanta. Back alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us on BR Live. Tabitha Turner going to join us here in just a few moments. Down on the floor, well, Lyle Thompson with a couple of goals to start his home slate. He scored 6 goals, by the way, in 6 quarters. And a great start for the Georgia Swarm as they'll look to continue it moving forward. Here's the rest of week 3 around the league. New England at Saskatchewan. That's the NLL game of the week. The Riptide taking on the Warriors. And then tonight, Toronto at San Diego. How about that matchup? Before I get your thoughts, Brandon, first, let's toss it down to the floor. Tabitha has Trevor Baptiste.
Trevor, how would you assess your team's play in that first half, and what was said in the locker room?
You know, I think we started out a little slow offensively. I think basically the message was we got to keep competing on defense, definitely stay out of the penalty box. You know, they had 3 goals on the power play. Holding a team like this to 3 5-on-5 goals is really good. So we just got to keep competing on defense and just play a little harder on offense. You know, just play harder, have some fun. This is our first game. I think we gripped our sticks a little bit too tight in the first quarter.
Well said. Thanks, Trevor. Good luck second half.
Trevor Baptiste with Tabitha Turner. Thanks a lot, Tabitha. Trevor Baptiste, the doppelganger of Brandon Joseph. You guys are related somewhere down the line, I think. No?
No
comment whatsoever?
He's from Jersey. I'm from New York, so.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
We may be of kin of each other.
What else did you think I was talking about? You know what? Let's just leave it there.
I have great facial hair.
In fact,
also.
You really, really do. Lyle Thompson with a couple of goals in the first half. Brian Cole, Randy Stotts, Jordan Hall, and Shane Jackson collecting the 6 goals for the Georgia Swarm. All of whom scoring their first goals of the season here at home. Again, Lyle Thompson with 6 goals now in 6 quarters on the season. Lyle had 4 against Rochester in the opener. Your thoughts on first half play? Great job by Mark Zinno and Drew Petkoff at the half with our Atlanta local feed. Let them handle the halftime duties here for this first broadcast.
It's about time those 2 guys put in some work this season.
You're telling me. But let me get first half analysis from you, Brandon Joseph, on both teams.
Well, you take a look at what Georgia did. Georgia came out and they knew Philadelphia was going to be physical, and they were able to match that physicality. Philadelphia was really taken out of the game offensively. Georgia did a great job defensively. And you know what? As Georgia comes back and they score, Shane Jackson goes 5-hole. Just like they started the second quarter, they get a goal early in the third quarter. That's what Georgia's doing really well.
Well, we mentioned Lyle Thompson as the goal dance is out at Sting City with his 6 goals in 6 quarters. Now Shane Jackson with 5 goals in 7 quarters.
Yeah,
a beautiful bounce shot to the left of Higgins.
You can see Nick Finley, the defender, he doesn't know where to look. And if you're moving your head like that, you're not defending anything.
Too much space.
Yeah, and Shane Jackson just closes out and keeps Nick Finley backing up. Just goes around him. Nick Finley, and goes right in 5-hole into the net.
The Bowmanville, Ontario native. The left-hander, the forward at 5'9", 180 pounds. As I mentioned, his 5th goal of the campaign to go along with 4 assists on the season as well.
See the physicality of the Georgia Swarm.
So 7-3. Now just about a minute, 15 seconds or so into this second half. Mike Poulin comes up with a big save.
And a great
Another
job.
shot put down on top. He kicks it off to his right.
Great job by Brendan Bomberry of getting back in the net also to limit Mike Poulin. He didn't have to jump across. Bomberry came in support.
Here's Jordan Hall. Jordan, a spin move.
Nice spin move by Hall. He's going to spin it back out. He was looking to skip it across to get the defense moving. They finally do get it across. Stotts gives the screen.
Back to Shane Jackson, who bounces another one in.
Rhythmic and academic for the Swarm with that high screen. And then you don't always have to use the screen. Sometimes you just set up the screen there. Stotts sets up the screen and comes back across to Shane Jackson. We're going to look here. Look, Stotts rolls off and get it across to Shane Jackson. Everybody starts worrying about that screen that Randy Stotts is setting up, and then it causes the mismatch in the rotation, and that gives it the clean look across to Shane Jackson.
The alternate captain now on the hat trick, Shane Jackson.
I think it was Finley again that was late rotating over, and Finley was supposed to occupy that lane. Finley comes over to occupy that, and then it just leaves that lane clear to pass it across to Shane Jackson.
So now Shane, he and Lyle Thompson leading the team in goals scored. Both sitting on 6, and this is a bit of a dangerous moment in the ball game. Still a long, long way to go. But a bit of a dangerous moment in the ball game for the Philadelphia Wings, now down 8-3.
Well, it's like Jordan Hall said before halftime with Tabitha Turner, if we hold them to 6, we're going to win this game. And I think that's the mindset from the Georgia Swarm, is replicate the first half. Philadelphia did a great job in the first half of hanging around, staying in there. Remember, at one point, it was 5-1. Philadelphia had to fight back and really claw back into the contest before halftime.
Another big storyline in this ball game, which we have yet to touch on, and now seems like an appropriate time as we start to settle into second half play. Remember, this is now an Eastern Division ball game. It's a big ball game of even more importance because it's inside the division ball game with realignment, of course, in the National Lacrosse League. Now done not just an East and West division, but also a North division. An East division made up of Georgia, New England, Philadelphia, and New York. Lyle,
great
step
interception
around
by Lyle Thompson.
Then he gets absolutely mugged.
And then we're going to get a penalty off of the mug.
Here comes the call. An interesting division, this East division, with Georgia, New York, New England, and Philadelphia. Here's another look, first the replay.
Yeah, great move by Lyle Thompson. Then that was Kevin Buchanan.
You had to if you're Buchanan.
Yeah, Buchanan is a forward, got caught back in the defense. Sometimes you just take the penalty and hope you can defend a man down with 2 minutes rather than basically concede a goal. When Lyle Thompson gets one-on-one with the keeper, the odds are exponentially in the favor of the greatest indoor lacrosse player to ever live.
Jackson looking for number 4.
Just missed, just hit the top crossbar. Was trying to sneak it over the dome of the keeper, Zach Higgins, and into the net.
It was just kind of cleared out there by Steph Charbonneau, I beg your pardon. Charbonneau just kind of fired it away to get it out of the traffic and get it out of the offensive end, at least for a moment, to allow his team to reset defensively. Charbonneau last year, by the way, had a great, fine rookie year.
As somebody with French-Canadian family, you just can't help but go, Steph Charbonneau.
You can't help but do that.
Great job of shorthanded getting that ball out. We'll see if they need one more in support, but they can't risk turning the ball over and then going odd man back the other way, so they're going to settle it down with Rambo. But Liam Burns did a great job of getting that ball into the attacking half.
Raleigh went in and tried for the shorthander. Couldn't get it to connect. Swarm have it back.
Not the best shot, but you did win by milking, 20 seconds off the penalty. So if you're Philadelphia, you didn't come away with a goal, but you can call that a very successful possession there.
Instead of taking the first opportunity, work it around. Jordan Hall, Randy Stotts at the top, 20 seconds left on the power play. Bounce shot put on Higgins. He's able to make the save. Kind of lays down there right in front of him, and a teammate picks it up and they'll push. And almost certainly now they'll have a very good shot at killing the power play. Here's Matiz.
Yeah, with 23 seconds left to go on the shot clock, I think they're just going to hold it out and focus more on getting the penalty expired than trying to get a shot on goal.
Brett Hickey. Little baby up and under move there. Vitarelli couldn't quite finish it off.
Mission accomplished, though. They got back to equal strength.
Here's Cole. Brian Cole, who they're looking to get a good deal of production out of this year. Brian. Little step. Now gets sealed out. Give off to Jackson. Shane puts a left-handed shot on that's altered by a defender. That was Baptiste who got a piece of it.
And they double team Cole, and then Baptiste with a quick rotation back up top to stop Shane Jackson.
And in the end, it turns into a shot clock violation. That'll bring us to our first TV timeout of this quarter. 8-3, Georgia out in front. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
Welcome back where the Swarm lead the Wings 8-3. Coach Camo, Shane Jackson just scored 2 straight back-to-back goals, a minute apiece. What went well on those plays?
Well, I think on the one play, Shane just was able to get some space by Brian Cole cutting, and the other one was just a great backside cut and a great look by Randy. So, we preach that, and he does a great job of it.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
This ball picked up by Connor Sellers. Jordan Hall has it now, trying to create something for the Swarm. Jordan back from Miles. Thanks for joining us back on BR Live, the home for the National Lacrosse League. Nice shot, nice behind the back shot there by Thompson. Couldn't get the connection, shot clock reset, Jordan. Now that was Miles Thompson that came up with a loose ball, I beg your pardon. 8:40 mark of this third quarter. Georgia Swarm out in front, 8-3. Thanks for joining us on BR Live, as I mentioned, in the local Atlanta area on 680 The Fan and 93.7 FM.
Randy Stotts coming in for Lyle Thompson.
Shot to the right of Higgins and off the pipe. Tabitha Turner on the sidelines for us. Brandon Joseph, the man to my left. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for tuning in. Hall tries to work around a screen, can't connect on the screen.
Gonna get that illegal block from the Swarm. That's really tough for the Swarm. After getting 2 resets of the shot clock, you really felt like this possession was gonna yield some fruits, but you get that penalty, and now Philadelphia has to do something to start clawing back in this game. Last time they were at this deficit, they were able to get one and then get another, kind of make it closer than it was. They don't want to let this game get away from them.
These two teams awfully chippy with each other, considering this just the 3rd time they've ever met. A little chippy last year. You and I, we called one of the ball games. It was certainly physical, but wasn't outlandishly physical or anything that we would remember and carry over into this season or into this ball game, in my opinion.
Well, you know,
unless I missed something.
Philadelphia's a very physical team, and what's the way to match physicality with physicality? So I think the Swarm know that coming in, and they want to be just as physical and take the fight to Philadelphia before Philadelphia can use that to their advantage.
Potential break. Now Krepinczak going to sit on it and slow things down just a little bit, at least long enough to give off to McIntosh. Jordan McIntosh off to Brian Cole. Cole going to find a trailing man, get the connection with Randy Stotts, but he got sealed out just a little bit. Now they'll have to reset the offense, it looks like. Or maybe not. I think Brian Cole does eventually get sealed out. One surefire way to slow down this high-powered offense for the Georgia Swarm, we talked about it in great detail, is to be physical with them.
Yeah, and you're starting to see that physicality from Baptiste and Charbonneau, and trying to make sure that they take every opportunity when they're able to get in tandem, and they just did there, Jordan Hall, to double team and try to knock the ball away.
Now you're starting to see a little returning fire there from number 44, Chad Tutton, and that is a tremendous answer. A tremendous answer for Philadelphia indeed. Kevin Crawley has tallied another.
Yeah, Crawley with the little short hop in front of Mike Poulin. As we get the replay here, we're gonna get it back up top to Crawley, and Crawley just short hops Mike Poulin.
Right-handed whip.
Just gets right through Poulin's leg. That's the toughest one when bites on you and then short hops you right there.
Boy, fit it into the smallest of spaces possible. So now an 8-4 ball game. 6:29 of the third quarter. Philadelphia Wings in their 2019-20 season opener overall. The Georgia Swarm already at 1-0 on the season. Tonight opening their home campaign on the north side of Metro Atlanta.
Baptiste won that face-off clean, tried to get that ball over to Liam Patton. Patton couldn't get a clean handle on it. If he would have, they would have had an opportunity to push the offense moving forward, but instead they turned the ball over. Just those little things in the midfield that's really preventing Philadelphia from getting into a nice offensive flow.
Stotts. Nothing doing. Higgins, despite the 8 goals, really has actually not been that bad in this ball game. Zach Higgins between the pipes for Philadelphia.
No, he's seen and has to face a lot of shots tonight.
Matter of fact, to tell you what we'll do, we'll get his numbers here pulled up for you in just a moment and see what kind of a night he's had exactly statistically. Here's Weedman. Going to push up for the Swarm, then give off to an offensive man or a transition man as they start to warm things up.
Great shot from the outside from Stotts. That's the 32nd shot on goal Higgins has had to face. And we still have 5 minutes to go and a full quarter left to play. He's seen a lot of shots, so only conceding 8 of them.
Crawley is denied by the pull-in wall. Kevin ends up with a loose ball. Give off to a trailing man. Put the shot on. That one not able to connect. That's Matt Rambo who had the second opportunity. Now rolls out towards the center circle and a reset of the offense. And the shot clock, by the way. Crawley tries to spin on Connor Sellers.
And Vitarelli's going to get called.
And we'll find out more detail on it when we come back. Second TV timeout from Metro Atlanta, I believe.
They went back and forth. He came over 2 hands, shoved him down. No way. Play within the rules. Let's go. Come on, Jackson. Don't make my job harder. Let's go.
Coming up next Saturday, the National Lacrosse League Game of the Week moves to Calgary, or Calgary if you prefer, and I do, as the defending champions raise their championship banner before taking on Kyle Killen and the Colorado Mammoth. Catch all the action on BR Live, Twitter, and Facebook. That's next Saturday, starting with NLL Game Day Live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back in Metro Atlanta, the Georgia Swarm have led throughout, trying to hold on to this lead. Philadelphia slowly trying to chip away at it. Now sitting at 8-4 at the 4:20 mark of the third quarter. Thanks for joining us on BR Live, your home for Georgia Swarm Lacrosse. 2019-2020, we'll have every home game. Well, I say that. Brandon and I will be on hand for every home game this year, but every game inside the National Lacrosse League obviously will be broadcast on BR Live this year.
Yeah, it's a great thing. You get that NLL Game of the Week, but you know you can follow along. You can get the season pass or just a game pass if you want, and it's a great gift for the holidays also for that young lacrosse fan in your life.
Stotts trying for the highlight reel score, going behind the back. It's stopped and stalled, and got a little bit of communication going on here between Jokum, the officials, and a trainer.
Yeah, we're gonna get a cross check here also. Philadelphia's gonna be a man down as Liam Burns, the defender from West Islip, New York, will take a seat, a very lonely seat, aside from that guy sitting to his left. It's still a very lonely seat in the penalty box.
Liam Burns was drafted by the Georgia Swarm back in 2016. It's a big moment in the ball game. Still, even with this much time to go, a breakaway. Pushing forward. Poulin doesn't face much of a shot. Great job by the defenders to trail and get back and force Steph Charbonneau into a quick shot.
Yeah, great job by Jordan Hall and Lyle Thompson. Trailing defense. Those guys aren't just scorers, they're defenders also. They're all-around players. Did a great job of altering that shot and making it go high. And Poulin was untested.
And Charbonneau can do that, by the way. Did it a little bit last year. Remember, he's a defender that had 9 goals and 11 assists last season. Higgins makes another save, but wait one moment. We got ourselves another whistle on the floor.
This time it's going to be a Swarm player headed to the ISO box, the penalty box.
1:08 remaining on the Georgia power play.
Georgia penalty number
for a
28.
moment. So, of course.
2 minutes delay game.
There's the call, 2 minutes. Delay of game, did I hear that right?
I believe so. I believe that was the call, Zed Williams.
So that'll flip the script on the power play, of course, as Georgia will have a man in the box for 2 minutes. So now we'll be at even strength for the next minute and 8 seconds. For the 52 seconds afterward, Philadelphia will be on the power play.
Crowley, ill-advised pass right into the chest of a Swarm player, turns the ball over.
Almost as though he made up his mind he was going to pass it before he had all eyes on receivers. Bomberry throws one down the floor. Yep. Dead ball type play. 2.5 minutes remaining, third quarter.
35 seconds on this 4-on-4. A lot more space to move around when you're at 4-on-4.
Crawley, shot on Poulin, makes a save on right side. Crawley ends up with a loose ball, got Chad Tutton on it. Chad's working.
Just big enough to alter that shot, loses his helmet coming off.
Poulin makes a save, looks for an outlet, and he's got a man. This is Lyle Thompson. Lyle gonna have a one-on-one with Higgins, and he bounces it through the 5-hole and into the back of the net. One word, Brandon Joseph, clinical.
Yes, and how fortunate was Chad Tutton's helmet falling off as he left the playing surface. It allowed, as soon as Mike Poulin to pick the ball up, Lyle Thompson to come off the bench. Great awareness from the bench area of the Georgia Swarm. They have Lyle ready, and realizing the ball was about to be turned over, and Lyle Thompson was able to come out and go one-on-one. That's a very fortunate loss of a helmet for Chad Tutton.
Lyle Thompson with a hat trick in game number 2 of the campaign. His home opener in 2019-20. 7 goals on the year. He is going to make a serious push toward the MVP award.
He's running off the field.
Yeah, now Philadelphia, of course, keep in mind, still with 40 seconds on the penalty. Or the power play, if you prefer. Crawley behind the net, finds his man. Poulin makes the save on Josh Courier.
Nice 1-2 punch, but that was countered by Mike Poulin.
Once again, Courier.
Saved by Poulin. Great job of Mike Poulin. He's stepping up in the crease to change the angle, take away angles, and then dropping back. Very skillful, very analytical and methodical by Mike Poulin.
Every time Mike makes a save, or at least when he makes a fantastic save here in the building, you hear them play Pink Floyd's The Wall in the building.
They're meant to go in the third quarter. Swarm now back at equal strength.
Zed, trying to go 5-hole. Higgins made a fine save. Miles Thompson comes floating out near the center circle and corrals the big hop. Shane Jackson at 35 seconds coming up. Right into a defender.
The final possession with the shot clock. Philadelphia is able to get it back. They'll trail their keeper off with the offense.
Nothing doing on the shot by Miles Thompson.
They're trying to get Higgins' attention. Higgins doesn't realize what a waste to be able to get a man up now. They'll have 15 seconds, but they could have had almost 29 seconds. But Higgins was, I don't know if he was celebrating or stretching or trying to get his wits about him.
Just did not realize, I think.
The whole bench area was yelling at him.
Crawley gives off to Kyle Matisse. Matisse's shot is kicked off to the right side. And that will be the end of the third quarter. It's Georgia 9 and Philadelphia 4. The Swarm try to stay unbeaten and get to 2-0, winning the first game of their home slate. Philadelphia will need a fourth quarter rally to win their season opener in Atlanta. This is the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. It's the National Lacrosse League on BR Live, and we are back in Metro Atlanta, the home of the Georgia Swarm Infinite Energy Arena, the building affectionately known as Sting City. The start of fourth quarter action on BR Live. Good look at Ed Cuomo. Players absolutely love Ed Cuomo. Absolutely love it. Coming up on NLL Post-Game Live, highlights and analysis of tonight's game and a look at scores from across the league. All that coming up on NLL Post-Game Live. Back alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for tuning in on BR Live. Tabitha Turner on the floor for us this evening. We also thank those of you joining us in Atlanta on the radio, on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Georgia with the opening possession of this fourth quarter with a 9-4 lead on Philadelphia. 9-4 on top of Philadelphia. Higgins makes a fine save to start the fourth quarter. Pushing up now. Philadelphia trying to answer. Anthony Joaquin going to give off towards the center circle, I beg your pardon. And now Philadelphia going to run on their offensive men and get things set up for, well, a big possession even with 14 minutes to go.
There's only so many possessions that Philadelphia will have 5-on-5. The bigger that they're behind, the earlier they're going to have to pull their keeper before they have to concede the game. So if you're Philadelphia, you want to start getting some of these back, because the Swarm, offensively, they put up a lot of empty net goals.
Brian Cole had a wide open lane to Higgins and decided to work the shot clock. Stotts tries a little underhand pass to Thompson, and it connected. Lyle didn't have a great shot, so he decided to hold on to it. Now it's worked back around to Shane Jackson. His shot is sent away by Higgins. Loose ball picked up by the Swarm, and they have it back.
Great job by Lyle and Miles. Thompson realizing the shot clock was running down. They improvised, was able to get off a very intelligent shot, get back possession, and have a fresh 30. Thompson
Checks the post just to make sure it's still there. Stays at 9-4.
And we're going to get a late skirmish with Randy Stotts, and Randy Stotts is going to get sent to the penalty box for that.
For a late hit on Liam Patton.
See if this is just a 2-minute variety.
Penalty, 2 minutes, dead ball foul.
2-minute dead ball foul. Could have been worse for Randy Stotts.
I'll tell you what was funny about that replay. I was looking at the wrong man. I noticed at the top of the screen you had a Philadelphia player take a swing at a Georgia player, so you had both teams going after each other on that particular dead ball situation.
For Philadelphia, you can't waste too much time trying to find the perfect shot.
Oh,
get a good one.
One hopper that kicks off the pipe. Heads out of play.
Off of the deflection, it will stay with Philadelphia. Very fortunate for them. If that would have gone out clean, Georgia would have been able to milk off 30 seconds.
Nearly a steal of the pass. Still loose down in front. Georgia might have it.
Passing it across the crease in front of all four of the Swarm players. Not the brightest pass.
Crawley tries behind the back as he was trying to connect with Brett Hickey. Hickey could not hold on to it as it eluded his stick. And now Georgia has a loose ball. And they will push up in an effort to drain the penalty. Swarm really back and forth last year on the penalty kill. At times, tremendous. But quite frankly, at times, they also really, really struggled. It was hard to get a beat on this Georgia team when analyzing their penalty kill last year.
And what the Swarm's penalty kill last year, they gave up a lot of goals early in the penalty. It was 15, 20 seconds. The later they got into the penalty kill, the more settled down they were. They'll be in an interesting situation here, depending on how much time Philly takes with this. They'll get the ball back and may be able to kill off the rest of the penalty. And remember who's in the penalty box. It's Randy Stott, an offensive player. Poulin's going to hold.
You're thinking about the dump out.
They weren't able. They tried to hold it just long enough to pick up the ball to start the shot clock with the matching time, but picked it up a second and a half too early. Look at the spacing here for the Georgia Swarm. They care more about expiring the penalty. They fire the shot away with 2 seconds left, get the ball bouncing around.
Thompson was streaking towards the crease on top of Higgins. Couldn't quite corral the pass from Shane Jackson. It's loose behind the net. For the moment, Liam Patton had it, but fine defensive play there by Lyle Thompson to keep him from corralling it and to help kill the penalty.
Yeah, the Swarm kill the penalty and they keep possession.
Let's go.
A little confusing for the Swarm, but if they had 4 or 5, if the penalty was fully
Oh,
expired.
it sneaks in! Thompson sneaks one past Higgins. Surprised Higgins, half the building, and a man in stripes as well.
Yeah, we'll get the replay here. But yeah, Miles Thompson. The Swarm were actually playing with 4 to 59. Didn't know if he could come on to the floor. Take a look. That's what earned them the possession. That fight by Lyle Thompson expired the penalty. Then you get the violation, and then Miles Thompson go 5-hole, and the referee got
That's what I mean. He had no idea.
Yeah, Higgins thought he was clinching, thought he had it pinned up.
Little surprise whipper from the right side by Miles Thompson. Almost as though he was going to work to the top and set up, or work to the top and pass it away, but at the very last moment, right before you saw him going to make his move to the top, he just decided to whip it on in there. His first goal at home this year, and that'll put him on 4 goals for the season after his hat trick in Rochester.
So many times out of that look, it doesn't wind up for a pass, and players get lulled. When you have 3.5 quarters almost of a player doing one thing, your mind starts to assume. You start trying to cheat to play the pass lane. That's where Miles Thompson just fired it on goal and got it through and into the back of the net.
Outlet. Caught. Oh my, what a tremendous defensive play. Great recovery, getting back Ryan Wagner to keep the Swarm from scoring. The Toronto man keeps us at 10-4.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be lucky and good. Ryan Wagner on that play was a little bit of both.
Left-handed shot, not close to Poulin. Still loose. We've got a whistle that brings us back the other way.
Illegal check.
Or this way. Give me the call again, Brandon.
It's a legal check.
Thank you.
Philadelphia will keep the possession.
Off the pipe. Picked up by Josh Curry.
Philadelphia, they're taking a little too much time trying to set up shots and run an offense. Great save by Mike Poulin.
That was my next question. Still just a 6-goal game. It's 10-4. We got a delayed penalty coming up, as you noted. At what point do you start to press here?
Well, they're going to have an advantage here. Cross-check.
Too early to think about it now.
We'll put Philadelphia man up. But again, 2 minutes from there, it's 8 minutes left to go in the game. 8 minutes down, 6. I mean, Georgia gets a possession, they can milk off half a minute. So you start wondering, like, at some point, just the math doesn't add up. So Philadelphia does need to have a little bit of a sense of urgency in making sure that Georgia isn't able to kill off this penalty.
Adam Wiedemann is the man who was sent to the penalty box. 20 seconds into this penalty, and now headed for a TV timeout, I believe. Yes, indeed. So Georgia trying to hold on to a lead. It's 10-4 at 9:44 remaining in the ball game. Can they do it and open up the season at 2-0? We'll find out when we come back. The National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
Opportunities at the net haven't been quite white falling. How can you guys get those shots to fall?
I just haven't executed very well up here, I don't think. Pooley's playing a heck of a game, but at the same time, we haven't shot the ball real great.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
All right, thanks, Tabby. 10-4 ball game. 9:25 mark coming up in this fourth quarter. Philadelphia once again. A reminder, they sit on the power play. Zed Williams trying to score shorthandedly. Philadelphia has it back. Down to 110 on the penalty now. Matt Rambo. From the flank.
Philadelphia just taking a little too much time.
Again, we were talking about it last segment before the break. You want just a tad more urgency.
Yeah, I think you're running out of possessions to try to equalize here. You know Georgia can milk 30 seconds off the clock, and that basically eliminates the amount of possessions that you can have. And if you're going to get this ball back with 8 minutes to go, down 6 goals, at some point you need to start creating more possession opportunities. And the easiest way to do that is by getting the ball in the net and getting goals.
Randy Stotts came within an inch and a half of making it 11-4. What may have been a clincher in the ball game. Oh, look at that deflection. Loose ball picked up. Had a shot on top of Poulin. He made an acrobatic save, and then Jordan McIntosh was able to swipe it away at the very last moment.
Yeah, McIntosh's deflection created a problem for Mike Poulin. Mike Poulin had the passing lane sniffed out. He knew where the ball was going. McIntosh deflects it. Poulin has to make a great adjustment to make the save and to kill off the rest of the penalty. Now they're back at even strength.
Exactly right. You saw Wheatman cutting across the floor and headed back over to the Georgia bench. The power play is now over, and it's almost as though the power play never ends for Lyle Thompson.
Great job showing his back to the goalie. Not knowing where the ball was going to go, Lyle just turns open face, just gets it in the back of the net.
No choice. Lyle Thompson with his 4th goal of...
You see here.
Well, is that 4 on the night? Or have I lost count?
Yeah, and that's kind of his becoming, in my opinion, like his signature almost
in the
fadeaway,
back of the net.
where he
That
gets
is
to the middle,
his 4th goal
and
of the
he's got
night.
his weight shifting from his front foot to his back foot as he rotates that ball quickly.
And not only that, he uses the defender as a screen.
It is, in fact, Lyle Thompson's 4th goal of the night.
And we're going to change
So
at
Thompson
keeper here for Philadelphia.
opener, 4
Zach
goals
Higgins,
tonight.
after conceding 11 goals, will lead the
Where you
contest,
expect
and
him to
Brandon
be at
Miller
the top of the
will
league
come in.
points and in goals scored.
Now 8 goals on the season for Thompson. He goes for 4 on the road in Rochester in week 1.
Yeah,
And
the
now
interesting
4
thing
here
about
at
that as I look
home
at it again is he's got
in
his
week
feet
3.
really set to explode.
Each of the
from east
Swarm's
to
first
west.
2 ball
So
games of the campaign.
He's got his feet like that. It's hard to figure out
Yeah,
defensively
Miller's
where you should position.
entering the contest,
And then as you're trying to
6'1",
figure
190
that out
from
defensively,
Orangeville, Ontario. Love his first name.
Indeed, Brandon did not play in the National Lacrosse League last year. He's a keeper coach over at Toronto for the Rock. He's been around the league, of course, a very long time. Spent 6 seasons, as a matter of fact, with the original Philly franchise. Poulin made the save. Now comes down to his backside, knocks the pipes off kilter, and they'll keep us playing. Doesn't mean that Miller hasn't been around for a long time, despite the fact that he did not play last year. He's played 87 games in his National Lacrosse League history. Or 87 games, I beg your pardon, he spent with Philadelphia. 200 career games in the league. 14 different seasons. Comes up with his first save of the contest right there. 51-75 career record for the new netminder for the Philadelphia Wings. It's Brandon Miller.
We're now down past that 1+1 moment where you're down the amount of goals is minute left in the contest. So if you're Philadelphia, this is where the urgency has to be cranked up. And you have to start creating. And they do.
Bounce shot that trickles through the 5-hole on Poulin.
Yeah, Brett Hickey was able just to slide that through 5-hole of Mike Poulin, get that in the back of the net. Now they shrink it back to 6.
Hickey's 8th year in the league, the 6'2", 225-pound right-hander. Collected 4 goals last year and 6 assists in 3 contests. Has his first tally in this second season for the Philadelphia Wings.
This is where the face-off, the ensuing face-off is going to be huge for Trevor Baptiste. You won 14 out of 19 if you're Baptiste in this contest. You want to win this cleanly. That's the important part. Win it clean, start players moving forward, and get this offense going.
Baptiste 68%, won last year. Collected 179 loose balls, obviously led his club. He'll win this one here. So they have possession back, 6.5 minutes left. Philadelphia trailing 11-5. To a man, Philadelphia, during the week and today as we spoke to them, said, we believe we can be a playoff team this year, and they've gotten another one. Behind the back, beautiful goal, oh my goodness. What a score for Kyle Matisse. Matisse went for 27 goals and 55 assists last year. This one put on the highlight reel.
Yeah, the back screen allowed the lane to open up for Matisse, and Matisse just comes through. Take a look at that screen. That opened it up. Matisse rotates over, gets clear, and was able to go right behind the back. Mike Poulin unable to react. And saw that. Look at that English on it. The instantaneous reaction for Mike Poulin is to slide right. That ball actually beat him on the left side of the side. That Matisse was going across. So he went across his body behind the back and was able to wrap it around.
Well, this right here is a mirror image of what also happened to these two teams last season. Georgia at times gave up some late ball games. They let their foot off of the gas against a host of teams last season, allowing them to get back into ball games that otherwise were blowouts. Poulin has to make another big save, this time on Baptiste. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, oftentimes last year, they put themselves in big holes and had to rally late. Under 6 minutes in a 5-goal game now. Thanks for joining us on BR Live. The first ball game of the year in Metro Atlanta for the Georgia Swarm. Philadelphia's season opener. Thanks to you joining us on the radio in Atlanta on 680 The Fan and 93.7 FM.
In Philadelphia, they were able to get 2 goals in under a minute. That's what they want to do. Now, this possession is going to be big. It's going to be the possession of the 5 minutes. Take them under 5 minutes here if Georgia's able to get a stop.
Rambo tries to go around a defender. Ends up into a couple of passes. And a shot that is not too much trouble for Poulin. Still rolling around down there. And it turns into a shot clock violation.
And Hickey was upset. He felt Georgia had possessed the ball and they had knocked it away.
Well, that shot clock did not need to reset there. Bomberry.
Now for the Swarm, you're looking to get back 1. I think if you were able to get to 12, even 13, you feel confident this game's over. I think if you get to 12, you start making that point where Philadelphia is entertaining the thought of pulling a keeper as soon as they get offensive possession. Not quite there yet.
Going to be tough to get 5 goals in what will probably amount to Philadelphia to no more than about 7 possessions the rest of the way. 5-goal game, 4:41 remaining. This is the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Time now for the play of the game presented by Geico. It's Lyle Thompson on the breakaway. This giving him his hat trick.
Yeah, the outlet from Poulin to Lyle Thompson. He just makes it look so easy.
I said it tongue-in-cheek a little bit earlier when he got his 4th goal. It's almost as though he's always on the power play. Got 4 more goals in this ball game. 8 on the season. Poulin makes a big save. The Poulin wall comes up with a huge save at 4:20 remaining in the ball game. We're down to 4:15 now as the Swarm push up. They'll be very deliberate offensively, obviously, with a 5-goal lead at 11-6.
Yeah, Philadelphia, they have no choice but to start cherry picking. They're going to defend 4 and just leave somebody back offensively to cherry pick. Swarm will match because they don't care about getting another goal. They just want to milk the clock. Now we're going to see the keeper start following the defense so they can get that extra attacker. They're at that, what we call the peak point.
Brandon Miller does head over to the bench. Work around to the top. Blaze Reardon gave off to a teammate, put the shot on Poulin underhanded. That'll not connect. Brett Hickey was bidding for goal number 2. Got a bit of a scrum right here on the near boards. By the way, Miller not getting off the bench and back to the pipes expeditiously, let's put it that way.
No, and he's really late coming back out onto the field, almost conceded the empty netter.
Reardon works around, now he's got it back. Blaze gonna give off to Hickey, trying to get it back to Blaze, couldn't quite connect. Point blank, Poulin makes the save. That's a big one. Great deal of the shot clock was drained away. We're down to 2:45. The Swarm 2:45 away from a 2-0 record.
Swarm are doing a great job of spacing.
Joel White had the loose ball for just a moment. It was knocked away from him. Another shot on top of Poulin. Mike makes another great save. Philadelphia picks up the loose ball. They have it once more. 2.5 minutes remaining. Try for the catch and shoot. Can't connect. Try for the loose ball. Still can't squirrel it around. And it's still loose. And Georgia going to recover it and just send it down.
Finally able to get their clearance. Georgia will take the time to reset. Philadelphia's actually going to get one fresh player on. I would think after that extended offensive set, they try to get 2 or 3 fresh guys on. Swarm effectively just playing a box and one.
And effectively winning the ball game, by the way. With great defensive play, filling lanes, challenging passes, still a 5-goal lead at 1:55 remaining.
Ball
it's
goes
nearly
out.
academic.
Sorry about that. Ball goes out on the deflection. Brandon Miller's going to have to run back in. And now the Georgia Swarm will milk off another 30 seconds, and Miller's going to have to trail the play. He's got to be a little bit quicker getting off.
Williams pinned up against the board. Zed gets away from it. Gives off. Point blank right in front of Miller, and a goal. Adam Wiedemann. Adam Wiedemann, the number 8 overall selection back in 2018. A defender who can score? Yeah, possibly. 298 points he scored in his collegiate days. Had 4 goals last year and now has his first of the new campaign.
Yeah, you can see it there. Everybody's selling out, just trying to force the turnover. Wiedemann comes free, and there was nobody home, nobody in the shot. They go for the double team. That means somebody's free. Hey, he's free, and he scored.
So that almost certainly is the dagger now at 12-6 with 1:38 remaining. 44 shots on goal for Georgia, and they've made them count.
Under 2 minutes, all scoring plays are reviewed. I think this will be a quick confirmation for the Wiedemann goal. They just take a look, Philadelphia, they try to double team, try to force a turnover.
Keep going, I just wanted the
You
ball
know,
to be in front
at
of
that point, if there's Ed Williams, somebody's free.
Go down.
He comes loose, finds the free man, drags the foot, nowhere close to the
Okay,
white.
that's good, thanks.
This will be a quick confirmation. Get it right here.
After review the call on the floor stands, we have a good goal.
Goal stands for Wiedemann, the Ontario native. Face-off center circle, and it seems academic now for the Georgia Swarm. Off to another fine start. Well, what do you make of this ball game, Brandon Joseph? Final minute and a half.
Well, I think it held a chark. I think the Swarm came out here, and I don't want to say it's a revenge game from the season finale last year, but I think, you know, the Georgia Swarm, they still kind of hold on to that a little bit. You can't help but if you're the Swarm. But what we saw in that first contest for the Swarm, I think they put a lot of teams on notice, and I think they're just going to continue that through offensively. And remember, it was 7.5 minutes of no score, and then the Swarm just ramped it up. Like Jordan Hall said going in halftime, gave up 3 in the first half. If we give up 3 more and we hold them to 6 total, we're going to win this game. This is, as you were talking about, the newfound defense of the Georgia Swarm. And for Philadelphia, had a lot of good shots. It was just against a great goalkeeper. And that was the problem today also. I think Philadelphia with the way they played today, they put up 10, 11 goals with a lot of the opportunities they were able to create against other teams. And who knows, that's a chance to win a lot of ball games.
Game held to form in my mind. Georgia at times looked like a potential world champion. Philadelphia at times looked as though they're going to be a better team than they were last year. You wonder if 12-6 will tell that story. A lot of folks will see this score across the league and say, well, here we go again. But Philadelphia did not have a terrible ball game, just in the end. Too much Georgia here in their home opener in the Deep South. Ed Cuomo gets win number 100 of his illustrious head coaching career. By the end of the 2019-20 season, will he collect what would be his third World Championship trophy? That, of course, is yet to be seen, but what we do know is that Philadelphia will fall to 0-1 in the 2019-2020 season. Meanwhile, the Georgia Swarm will improve to 2-0 on the campaign. Once again, your final score here at Infinite Energy Arena in Metro Atlanta. 12-6, the Georgia Swarm over the Philadelphia Wings. Don't forget to visit NLL.com for an all-access pass to the National Lacrosse League. Get the latest news, highlights, stories, and more. For Tabitha Turner and Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooneyham. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Don't forget, NLL Postgame Live is coming up next.
Welcome back to the NLL post-game report, where the Georgia Swarm have just defeated the Philadelphia Wings 12-6. I'm here with Shane Jackson. Shane, the Swarm set the pace the entire game. You just defeated one of your East Division rivals. What was the focus tonight for the Swarm?
We just wanted to play our game. We wanted to play the right way. I thought we did a great job of that tonight, both ends of the floor. And, you know, they got a good team over there, so it looks like it was getting heated there for a little bit. So we got a nice little rivalry going right now.
The Wings are one of the biggest teams in the league right now. How did you guys, I guess, limit them from reaching the net at will?
Well, the goaltending was unbelievable, as per usual. Mike Poulin's unbelievable. He's our backbone. And, you know, the defense, they shut them down. And, you know, it couldn't be happier for the D and happy for Pooley.
You guys, this is the second game that you had over 10 goals in a game. What does that say about the chemistry? Because you guys scored on 3 of the 5 power plays. So what does that say about your offensive chemistry right now?
I mean, it's great because there's no egos. No one needs the ball. Everyone can play with one another, and that's the best way to play lacrosse. So everyone's sharing the ball, and we're all working hard, and we're getting rewarded for it.
Great game tonight, Shane. I'm going to let you go because we got balls flying at us. Great game tonight.
Thanks, Tabitha.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
So Shane Jackson, one of the Swarm players with 3 goals on the night. And Shane is a big part of what they do offensively, but he's just such a good finisher.
Yeah, he's a really smart lacrosse player in that in this play right here, he's going to take that shot if you give it to him. But he is going to look for that pass, and he is going to be trying to work off ball to get open, as we see in this one here. So he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's a great off-ball player. He might be the best off-ball player in the league, but he's also an off-ball player that can take those outside shots and score from anywhere on the floor.
So Shane Jackson with 3 goals. Lyle Thompson led all scorers with 4 goals and 3 assists. You know, you take a look at the stats from this game, and we're going to get them on the screen for you here in just a moment, but even in every single category, with the exception of face-offs and power plays, and of course the scores, and the one stat you don't see there is 42 saves from Mike Poulin tonight.
Right. Again, I think Poulin played a great game. Again, I think the other stat that you don't see is quality shots. I've talked about this a lot in the past, but quality shots on net. So Philadelphia had more shots on goal, but I think the shots that the Georgia Swarm took had a better chance of going in overall because they were just working a little bit harder to get a little bit closer to the net or to get someone a little bit more open. So I think they just did a little bit better job of executing offensively to get better quality shots.
So our final once again tonight, the Georgia Swarm 12, the Philadelphia Wings 6. The Swarm improved to 2-0. The Wings 0-1 on the season. That'll do it for our NLL BR Live post-game report here from the Infinite Energy Arena. For Drew Petkoff and our entire staff here, I'm Mark Zinno.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great evening.